Okay.
Okay, hello everybody. We are going to be talking about the assessment that we took, um, talking about our leadership strengths, and we're going to be discussing our top 5 themes and what came in as our top 5 themes individually. So I'm going to start. My top 5 were communication, deliberative, maximizer, responsibility, and connectedness. Um, I was not really surprised by my results. I pride myself on being a communicator because I feel like I don't know. There was always a saying in my family, and growing up, a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yep.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know what your problem is unless you open your mouth and tell it. So we were taught to be forward. And that too also goes back to what we were talking about before when we talked about how being from a bigger city as opposed to being from the South, there's a little bit of difference. The deliberative part, and I have to go to my, hang on for a second because I was doing this. Deliberative, I believe, was more along the lines of, let's see here. Give me a second, y'all, because I started writing. Yeah, I have to think things through. I have learned in my years of being in education to not respond with my emotions, because when I respond with my emotions, somebody's gonna take it the wrong way. And even though I didn't mean it that way, I was being led by my emotions and didn't think things through. So I'm very, very cautious to think things through before I say anything to anybody. That don't mean I need like 2 days to think about it, but I have to stop and say, okay, that's not the best way to respond. Even when I'm talking to my students, because especially teaching middle school, them snappy thoughts come right back. But I had to learn as a teacher that those same snappy thoughts that I give them will be those same snappy thoughts that they'll give back to me because they learn from you. And if you do that, then they're gonna think that's okay. I can come back snappy at her too, because they don't know any better, and you're teaching them. So, and it's the same thing with any other with another teacher. The other one, maximizer, which I had not gotten to yet, but maximizer was, what was it? Y'all give me a second. Bear with me. Yes, focusing on people's strengths. I want to know. Okay, let me give y'all a good example. This is my example, and my husband got on my case for this. I am on the PBIS correlate. I am not the chair. I am trying my best not to take over because I feel like although the chair has a lot to offer, she's stuck in a time warp. And I am doing my best. I'm like, okay, so give me the questions I need to ask in the survey, because that's a strength for her. Whereas actually carrying things out and getting things moving, that's a strength for me. So I figured I could still be the co-chair and her be the chair, and me not overstep my bounds because I'm very careful about stepping on people's toes, use her strength and still get done what we need to get done in a timely manner. So I don't focus on people's weaknesses. I kind of build up their strengths. And so that's that thing about maximizer, I guess. The last two was responsibility. Responsibility, I have to own what I do. And like Dr. Revis was saying tonight, it's okay for you to say, I made a mistake. That's on me. You know, I did something wrong. I didn't know all of that at the time that I made the decision. I completely identify with that. I have no, even with my students, I have no problem saying, hey guys, I made a mistake. I teach math. Let's go back. Let's do that again because I made a mistake. Because I think that everybody should be responsible. That's just me. And last is, what was it? Connectedness. You gotta know that there's a link between people and things that they do, and everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that in your personal life and at work, everything happens for a reason. This is my 13th year teaching. At no time whatsoever in the beginning did I ever want to be a principal. Never. I was like, I don't want that job. That job is stressful. Y'all can have that. I just want to teach. I don't do nothing else. I just want to teach. All of a sudden, my husband decided that he was going to go back to school. I said, you know what? Let me go back to school. There has to be another way for me to make an impact on my kids, on my environment, on my school. And now that I've been in this class and doing the things and talking about the things that we've been talking about, I'm actually more encouraged and more excited to see, hey, I can add to what they're doing. I like what they're doing. I can add to it. We can make it better. That's just where I am. But I seriously, that goes back to what I was saying, what we were saying before about you have to have a connection to your environment to understand people. You can't be there and just be the person who's like, okay, we're gonna do it my way. You have to be able to, again, build on somebody else's strengths. So was I surprised about my results? No, it really and truly captured who I am. So I'm a believer. That's it. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. So if somebody else wants to share theirs.
Yeah, for my 5 categories, I got achiever, arranger, woo, realtor, and futuristic. And kind of same boat. Yeah, I wasn't really surprised. Achiever, I know, like, I'm the first one in my family to go to college. So that was always like, I've always had my goals. I didn't feel good about myself or good about what I was doing unless I achieved what my goal was. And it's kind of funny, when I first started like my school, like, yeah, I'm going to college. I'm the first one in my family to go to college. I'm going to get the highest degree. I'm going to get my doctorate degree. At the time, I didn't know what a doctorate degree was. I just knew it was the highest. I wanted to be at what I do. So, set that mark. And then when I got to my first class of, my doctoral studies, they're like, oh, this is what a dissertation is. And I said, what? I got to do that? But I already told people what I was going to do. So now I couldn't back out, so I'm definitely an achiever. I definitely have to set my goals. Arranger, I definitely have 1,000 things on my plate at all times. If I have like one, I really don't flow that well, I feel like. Just from, I drive the bus, I've coached, special education teacher, I'm the chair of my department on leadership. Obviously, a mom of 2. And then I've been a full-time student in the last 10 years. So like, I don't get right unless I have 1,000 things on my plate. I don't feel like me. The woo, I definitely like listening to people. One of my favorite things when I went to school out in Texas, I love to go to the airport and just people watch. And then with my people watching, I'd love to go up and like, hey, tell me about your life. I just was so intrigued about learning about others, what their struggles were, their life goals and such. The realtor, I definitely value a strong friendship. I have few friends just because I'm so like fine-tuned of like what they bring to the table too. And then again, going to the like, love hearing people's stories, hearing their goals, and then definitely futuristic. Like, I've always been a goal setter. So what do I want in the future? How am I going to get there? And set up my activities, if you will, of what I need to do to accomplish that ultimate goal. So yeah, I really wasn't surprised either with these concepts. Go ahead, Shay.
All right. Well, mine were woo was the first one, communication, positivity, harmony, and adaptability. And it's definitely dead on woo. I mean, I walk into school and everybody's like, "What's up, coach?" And I'm like, "What's up?" I'm bringing all the energy. I love to meet people. I am the extrovert that introverts hate to be around. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "No, stop talking to me. I don't want to talk." So and I think that helps me as far as leadership, because I can make just about anybody feel comfortable, and I'm gonna talk to anybody. The next one was communication. I can express what I'm feeling. I like to express my ideas. I like to come into situations and probably take over a little too much. But that being an extrovert also helps me with my communication. Positivity. I like to, hey, the glass is half full. I'm optimistic about everything. Like I tell my kids until we're down 50 points, hey, we can still do this. We're gonna win. And I think that you have to have that, in leadership, because I mean, especially the teacher, because man, you go home every day and be like, yeah, I ain't coming back here tomorrow. I'm not coming back. But you got to have something, again, it's like the hope that you can put in people. The more positive you are, the more that they can feel hope. The next one for me was harmony. I do not like conflict. And this is a good thing. It's also a bad thing, because, there's always going to be conflict. And when you're leading, if it's not with the teacher and the teacher and the AP, the kids and the teacher, the parents and the kids, and there's always going to be, some type of conflict. And I'm not saying that I can't deal with conflict, but I want everybody to be happy. Like, let's just get this done. Everybody be happy, everybody be comfortable. Let's all get along. Let's be the A team, and I want to be known for like, hey, oh my goodness, that's the best team out there. Like, they're awesome together. Everybody's going to say they're great. Yes, their leader's great. That's how I want to be, and keep the peace. Adaptability. I can go with the flow. I can make any situation work. Sometimes I feel like it's a curse, because I call myself a chameleon, because I can come into any situation like, oh, no, yeah, we're going to get this done. Something's broke. No, we can get this. We're going to fix it. So also rely on my intuition to make decisions, even as it's kind of unfolding in the situation, where some people, if something goes wrong, those perfectionist people, oh my goodness, if they hit the bump and something's happening, they can't get it together. But I'm gonna be the one person be like, hey, I'm gonna need you to bring your type A personality over here, and we're gonna make this thing work. But as I processed through this, and I think this is all dead on with the WOO, the communication, positivity, harmony, adaptability, I kind of felt, started to question, okay, what kind of leader am I going to be? Because as all these things are good, like I didn't have anything in execution, strategic thinking. Like I wasn't even in that realm of getting it done. And I think, leadership, you got to have something in those, even if it's something small. And so it kind of, I don't know, I'm just made my brain start thinking about, okay, coach, you're gonna have to figure this thing out, because I can't be the party girl all the time. I'm gonna have to bring the hammer. And then in that situation, how can I pull something out of my personality that's so deeply buried under all this? Let's have a good time. Let's everybody get along. Let's be positive, because I'm gonna have to fire somebody one day. And what is that gonna look like? That person gonna leave my office hugging me or something. But I'm gonna have to be able to pull those things out, and like strategic thinking. Like, okay, numbers, and I know my brain doesn't work in a certain way. Like numbers and stuff like that, I can look at number data, that's my weakness. So I guess where I'm weak, somebody else is gonna have to be strong. But I did start to question in my own right of being a leader and leadership, like, you're gonna have to figure this out, or is this really for you, or am I gonna be stuck being the happy AP?
But I think
admin lead.
that goes back to, our conversation, leaders and managers. So, you know what I mean? And you could be a good leader and then pick the good people that can fix those pieces. So if data ain't your cue, you want to hire an AP that can come in that's, really strong with data or has experience with data, so that can help as you're continuing to grow in that. I mean, it's going to take us all time to get there. I wouldn't say I'm efficient at data. Now I'm used to progress monitoring from special education, but I'm telling you, when they talk about evals, report card and all that, I'm like, oh, what? I didn't even know, there was that stuff. Like, yeah, we had staff meetings, they talked to it, but it didn't pertain to me in special education. So I didn't care about it. I hate to say that, but that's
No,
just,
I get you. Same thing with PE.
you know, you go into these staff meetings, whatever, I don't care, whatever. Are we done? Where do I sign in? How do I get my credit? You know?
Right.
But as we've been going through this coursework, same concept, there's things, and the party girl, that's me. I like to be, you know, have fun, you know, and all that stuff. But, and I've been told previously for like a leadership role, they're like, oh, somebody had made a comment about, I don't know if you'd be professional enough just because of how silly I am. And I get that. Like, you know, I was a student athlete, so I had that goofiness to me. But at the same component, like on paper, if you want, like I have the better degree, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
As far as knowing the strategies and the position was a special education, I know special ed better than half of your leaders. But so, yeah, so I definitely hear and I could relate with what you're saying. Like, where do you turn this off to turn that on and grow as you want to be there?
Right.
I'm the opposite. So where y'all are the party people, I'm the person who's like, well, why are you so serious all the time? Do you smile? Do you laugh? Do you do anything? And I'm like, yes, I do, but I'm about my business. Let's get it done. And it's funny because when administration comes into my classroom, I always get, your class is so organized and your class is always on task and your class is always engaged. And it's funny because they figured that I don't laugh and I don't joke with the kids, and I do sometimes. We have little mini conversations in between all the time. And like when Shay was saying how you get in a mindset sometimes where you're like, I don't want to come back here. I just don't. And I think I have gotten past that. And I think when I realized the reason that I'm there, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, I had a rough day today, but it was just today. What does it for me is to hear my kids or to hear somebody tell me something that my kids say. And it's so funny because they're like, I'm afraid to talk to Miss Henderson. I'm like, I don't know why y'all afraid to talk to me. Send me an email. You don't want to talk? Send me an email. We good. But for them to say something like, I had my team lead to tell me, you know, so-and-so loves you. I said, are you for real? Are you joking with me? I said, I'm so hard on him. She said, no, he absolutely loves you. I was like, okay. So for me, that's encouraging. That lets me know that I'm doing something right, you know, but I'm that person who's kind of no nonsense. And I think that goes back to when we were talking about be your true self. I think sometimes I'm in a position to be the opposite of what I don't like. And that probably is not great either, because I've had so many principals who are like people pleasers. And my whole idea is you're not going to please everybody all of the time. You're not. Some of the decisions you're going to make are not going to be popular. And you have to be okay with that because it's for the betterment of the school. It may not be for the betterment. It may not please that individual, but you have to do what's best for the school as a whole, not just doing what you need to do just for that person all the time. So I think that's something that I probably need to work on.
And I'd say facial expressions too, Nairi. I definitely see your demeanor. That's funny, like watching it sometimes when we talk about class discussions and stuff. There's this one teacher, if she come to my IEP meetings, I'll have to chat her, hey, fix your face, girl, put your lip up.
You know what, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Steven sends me messages all the time while we're in class. He's like, fix your face. Fix your face. My the counselor I had at my last school, we're really good friends. And she would sit in the meeting and she said, you know, you just crack me up. She would text me so I would smile. She said, you cracking me up. She said, everything that you feel is showing on your face. You don't say a word, but it says it all. It's like it's just written in marker on your face. Fix your face. I said, I can't help it. They get on my nerves. I can't help it.
Nairi, I saw this quote and it said, I need to tell my facial expressions to use their inside voice.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm learning, y'all. I am. I'm learning.
I'm just picking with you, but you do remind me of that teacher.
All right, ladies. I think that Nairi, this is your show.
All right. Well, we went over all of our strengths, and we all were not surprised by what we have learned. for me, it was a really good experience, and I'm actually glad that I did the assessment. And I think out of the top 5, what was it? It was executing, influencing, relationship building.
Yeah.
When you were talking about Shay, about not getting anything under strategic thinking, neither did I. I got relationship building, I got influencing, I got 2 under influencing, 2 under executing, 1 under relationship building, and not a thing under strategic thinking. So I think I might need to go back to the drawing board.
I think I had one of under all of them and then 2 under 1. That's how mine was.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
mine
look
was
at you,
weird.
well-rounded.
You know, I mean, I don't want to brag or nothing, but
Well, I'll just come work for you. You put me in the party wing.
you know, I got you.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna end this here, and this is part 2, and get this turned in.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too.